Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're digging into a really fascinating story. It starts not in some fancy boardroom, but with, well, butter, beef, and a blog from an Oklahoma ranch.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing when you think about it. No big media backing, no Silicon Valley money.
Exactly. And yet, this woman, Ree Drummond, she's now at the helm of, what, a $50 million lifestyle empire.
That's the number, yeah. So the question is, how?
Yeah.
How do you go from sharing recipes online to, well, retail royalty?
That's what this deep dive is all about. We want to get under the hood, really understand the thinking, the strategy, the maybe less obvious stuff behind this unexpected success.
We're talking about Ree Drummond, obviously. Former city girl, ends up a ranch wife, starts the Pioneer Woman blog. When was it? 2009?
Yeah, 2009. And you fast forward to now, 2025, and it's this huge thing. Walmart collections everywhere, best-selling cookbooks. She's even turned Pawhuska, Oklahoma, into a tourist spot.
It's incredible.
So, okay, beyond the pretty floral patterns and the comfort food, what's the real strategy here? We think it's about emotional connection, long-term trust, building a real community.
Turning butter and blog posts into millions. That's the mystery we're unpacking.
Let's start at the beginning then. Her financial mindset, or maybe the lack of one initially. Value before revenue seems to be the theme.
Totally. Back in 2009, she just, opened her laptop, started a free WordPress blog. No grand plan.
Right. She was just posting about life on the ranch, homeschooling the kids, making cinnamon rolls. She even said it was just for fun.
No business plan, no monetization strategy, which is pretty different from how many people approach things now.
And then what happened? It just took off.
Kind of exploded, yeah. Within like 2 years, the blog was getting over 20 million page views a month.
Wow. 20 million.
Yeah. And she won Weblog of the Year twice.
Okay, so how did she build that much trust, that much value without running ads or selling anything? That's the golden question for anyone building online today, isn't it?
It really is. And that foundation of trust, that's what everything else was built on. By 2011, publishers were knocking on her door.
Leading to the first cookbook.
Exactly. Which went straight to #1 on the New York Times bestseller list.
And then the Food Network show followed pretty quickly after that.
Yeah, they called, offered her a show. It became a massive hit, and that just blew the brand up nationwide.
So the key insight here is she spent years just giving, sharing her life, her recipes, building what you called emotional equity.
Right, that loyalty you just can't buy. She was chasing authenticity, not clicks or algorithms.
It's funny, she said, I'm not extraordinary. Anyone could do what I do.
Well, maybe. But not everyone did build a $50 million brand that way, especially by 2025. Her audience felt like they knew her.
Like family, almost. And that connection paid off later in book sales, TV deals, retail.
Absolutely. It was way more powerful than any slick launch campaign could ever be.
So the takeaway for you listening, maybe think about leading with real value first. Build that trust.
Yeah, the revenue tends to follow when people genuinely trust you and what you offer. It's not the first goal, it's a result.
Okay, so she built this huge online following.
Yeah.
But then she did something kind of counterintuitive for a digital creator, right? She went offline.
Yeah, that was a really interesting move. Most people were doubling down on digital ads, affiliates, you name it.
But she decided to build physical places.
Exactly. In 2016, she and her husband, Lad, opened the Mercantile. And it wasn't small. 25,000 square feet.
Yeah.
Restaurant, bakery, general store.
In Pawhuska, Oklahoma, which is, let's be honest, pretty tiny.
Very tiny. But people started lining up almost immediately, not just for the food, but to literally step into the world she described online for years.
It became like a destination.
Totally. And then she kept building on it. By 2018, there was the boarding house, a boutique hotel.
P-Town Pizza.
Right. And Charlie's Sweet Shop, named after her basset hound.
Yeah. So each place became like a pilgrimage site for her fans.
She turned digital clicks into actual foot traffic, and importantly, into real estate value.
How did that translate into products, though? Beyond the food and the experience.
Well, that ties into the huge Walmart partnership, the Pioneer Woman collection.
Ah, yes. The cookware, the dishes, all those floral patterns, you see them everywhere.
They became instant bestsellers. Some items would sell out in hours. It's still one of Walmart's biggest home brands today in 2025.
So she didn't just sell products. She sold the feeling, the story behind them.
Precisely. It was multisensory. You could taste her food at the Merc, sleep in her hotel, buy her style at Walmart. You could literally immerse yourself in her story.
Unlike a digital ad that you just scroll past.
Right. These physical experiences, they stick with you. They build memory, legacy.
So the lesson there seems to be, don't just stay digital. If you want to future-proof your brand, maybe think about tangible experiences.
Translate that influence into something people can touch and feel. That's how you really embed yourself in their lives.
Okay, but it's not just the big moves, the stores, the Walmart deal. There's something quieter underneath it all, isn't there? That emotional consistency you mentioned.
Oh, definitely. That's maybe the secret sauce for over 15 years now? She's shown up consistently. Warm, funny, a bit imperfect, real.
She writes like she talks. She shares the messy parts like photos of burnt bacon. Why is that so hard for creators to stick with?
Well, the pressure is always to chase the next trend, the algorithm change, right? Pivot, pivot, pivot.
But she didn't.
No, she stuck to her core themes, her voice, her values. Her audience kind of grew up alongside her. The blog felt like an old friend.
So that loyalty remained even when social media platforms changed.
Absolutely. She adapted, sure, like sharing about empty nest life more recently. She talked about that in 2024, how she and Lad enjoy the quiet times, but...
But home is still home when the kids come back.
Exactly. That's the heart of everything I do, she said. That consistency creates a feeling.
Like a subconscious message. You're safe here, you belong.
Yes. And that trust built day by day, post by post. That's the real asset, maybe more valuable than the buildings or the product lines.
So for you listening, the takeaway is emotional consistency builds relationships.
And relationships are what compound in the long run, not just followers.
Let's shift gears a bit. Talk about her life philosophy, because her path wasn't always pointing towards, this.
Not at all. Ree Drummond was Anne Marie Smith originally. Grew up suburban, went to USC in Los Angeles. Studied gerontology.
City girl dreams, right. Psychology, maybe elder care, wearing black, drinking soy lattes, the whole thing.
Totally different world. Then came the defining moment.
Meeting Lad.
Yep. On a visit home, meets this tall, quiet cowboy and makes this huge life decision.
Trading the city for the ranch, heels for boots, moving to the quote-unquote middle of nowhere.
It probably didn't make logical sense to outsiders, but it felt right to her. And that gut decision, that became her blueprint.
Which leads to this idea of authentic alignment. She didn't follow a script, did she?
No script, no chasing trends. She built a life and then a brand based on who she fundamentally was.
Everything flowed from that. Staying on the ranch, filming in her own kitchen.
It all lines up. It feels authentic because it is authentic. She even wrote in her memoir something like, "The only map that matters is the one that leads you home."
So what does that mean for someone building their own thing? Building from identity, not just market research.
It means you start with what feels true to you deep down, not just what you think will sell or what looks successful on paper.
That outward success comes from that inner alignment. Choose what feels right, then build from there.
That seems to be her model, and it resonates deeply with people.
Okay, but here's another interesting layer. She never really chased fame, did she? No TED Talks, no big self-promotion pushes.
Not in the conventional sense, no. No heavy social ad spending to build the empire initially.
Yet the results are undeniable. Thousands of Walmart stores carry her stuff. The blog still gets millions of readers. The brand is loved across generations. How does that quiet power work?
It's about building trust slowly, deeply. Remember the Walmart launch in 2015? It wasn't just, buy my new stuff.
It's more like, bring a piece of my home into yours.
Exactly. The products told her story. They felt familiar because people already felt connected to her life on the ranch. That emotional trust is why it's still a top performer for Walmart.
And then there's the impact on Pawhuska. The pioneer effect, you call it.
Yeah, it's staggering. Turning a small Oklahoma town into a tourist hotspot. Hundreds of thousands of visitors before the pandemic.
Creating jobs, boosting the local economy.
Right. She even said it wasn't just a business, it's a family legacy, and visitors become part of that.
So her influence isn't loud and flashy, it's lived. It's about connection over just getting attention, depth over sheer reach.
It really challenges the idea that you have to be loud to be influential, doesn't it?
It does. The takeaway seems to be, maybe true influence doesn't need a giant spotlight. Maybe it starts quietly, like at a kitchen table.
And those quiet connections can build something incredibly powerful and lasting.
Of course, no journey is without challenges. Let's talk about how she handled tough times. The pandemic must have hit the Food Network show hard initially.
Oh yeah. In 2020, in-person filming just stopped. Everything shut down.
So what did she do?
She pivoted, but in a very Ree Drummond way. Her kids started filming the show on iPhones.
Seriously, iPhones?
Yep. And they kept the bloopers in, made it feel even more real and family-oriented.
And how did audiences react?
Viewership went up. skyrocketed, actually. People were craving that kind of authentic, unpolished connection during a really uncertain time.
Wow. And then came something even harder, personally.
Yeah, in 2021, that terrible accident with her husband, Ladd, the fire truck crash, the severe neck injury, it was terrifying.
Most people might retreat from the public eye then.
But she didn't. She shared it carefully, vulnerably, but with hope. She wrote something like, "I can't complain after seeing Ladd walk in the door alive."
It showed that the brand really is her life. These weren't calculated PR moves.
Not at all. It demonstrated what we could call rooted resilience. She didn't panic and change everything. She stayed grounded in her identity, her family, her truth.
Served a community, kept showing up.
And that reinforces the point. Build your brand on truth, not just trends. When the tough times hit, you don't just survive.
You actually come out stronger with an even more loyal following.
Exactly. Because people saw the real person behind the brand weathering the storm.
So let's try to wrap this up. What's the big picture here? Ree Drummond didn't start with a master plan for an empire.
No, she just started telling her story. One recipe, one blog post, one glimpse into her life at a time.
And by honoring those small, everyday details, she built something massive. Not by attacking a market, but by inviting people in.
Millions trust her because she just lived her life and let people watch. Flour on the counter, mistakes and all.
It really suggests that maybe the root of your story matters more than the reach of your voice.
Yeah, in a world chasing viral hits and algorithms, she shows this different path. Where taking it slow is okay, where consistency creates charisma.
Where softness can actually be a strength.
When you're aligned with who you truly are, your life itself becomes the message. It creates meaning, not just products to sell.
So maybe success isn't always about doing more, adding more. Maybe it's about becoming more you.
And trusting that your authentic self will find the people who need to hear that story. The real legacy isn't just the money, is it?
No, it's the feeling you leave behind.
So if this whole story resonates with you listening, maybe not just admiration, but like recognition. Perhaps it's because deep down, you know you don't have to shout to lead.
Or be everywhere to matter. Or chase the spotlight if you've already found your own light.
Yeah, so here's something to think about. What part of your story feels too simple, maybe too ordinary, maybe even too vulnerable to share?
That thing you think nobody would care about.
Might be the exact thing someone else needs to hear right now.
Think about that. Maybe your real power, like Ree's, starts right there, at your own kitchen table.
Maybe the quietest parts of your life actually carry the loudest meaning.